Bacchus in Texas. Bacchus, a terracotta mask, grimaces gape-mouthed on the garden wall. He's an expatriate under our live oaks, although the sun sets as outrageously here as it did behind the black cypresses and the raw ochre oven where he was once fired. Moss has worked its way into his frown, has given a cast to one of his eyes and split the curl of his lip. The children watch him warily, especially when one girl is brave enough to tease the daddy long legs quartered in his throat. Then, their pulsing communion disturbed, the critters whisker down his chin. Bacchus and I rarely converse now about the old days, but at the Feast of the Assumption, Ferragosto, we usually remember how the heat of a Roman summer would explode the cones of the umbrella pines, graveling a dusty piazza with pignoli. And last year, when a spider webbed a monocle over his bad eye, I took his picture. Bleeding hearts. The bleeding hearts are stitched with fuchsia jewels above swatches of ornamental grass, but they're ripping out Mrs. Larson's garden to make way for the southern overpass. The bleeding hearts are stitched with fuchsia jewels, the lilies of the valley almost spent. The fence was offered curbside for kindling. Mixers are churning with fresh cement. Above swatches of ornamental grass, patches of iris, portulaca, chive. She looks out from her shadowed porch to see wheelbarrows of rocks trundled down the drive. Neighbors admired Mrs. Larson's garden. People stopped to chat about her flowers, saw her with bonnet, trowel, and kneeling pad, radiant in early morning hours. Of course we need the southern overpass, more than dahlia beds, geranium pots, more than one woman's dreams and peonies, or graveled walks hemmed with forget-me-nots. At the Waco Wendy's after the Poetry Festival. Because our vocabularies are sufficient to describe your skimpy dresses as harlequin, lame, or Prussian blue, because we have studied ancient myth and can read you as three graces, not simply one lithe and two rounder girls, because we have seen enough in our long lives to rejoice that the tallest among you wears dyed-to-match stilettos, because we are trained in irony, can contrast the kids behind the counter flipping burgers and you with your brand new shimmer. When your dates begin to clown, lift their hands and wave, so you will watch them tap dancing beside the drink lid station. We curtail our talk of metaphor as the looking glass of life. Set down our sandwiches, enjoy their easy antics, and file poets' briefs on the sweetness of this evening, the late sun piercing plate glass to glaze your heedless joy. Thanks to our craft, we're able to attend to your experience, parcel into a few lines what for one of you might become the moment you will remember as the beginning of everything, and concoct from our words a poultice to warm life's thinning threads. Reflections on three questions posed by Rouault's Miserere. As we engaged Rouault's bleak, hurting world, our hearts with tens of restless questions swirled. But in his endeavor to make viewers perceive The artist himself has posed only 3. Are we not convicts? Do we not wear masks? My dear country, where are you? He asks. To inquiries that we might make about torture, apathy, ignorance, flood, drought, addiction, war, hubris, greed, and cancers, Rouault in these prints offers sufficient answers. Each somber window into shame and loss evokes another station of the cross. He does not doubt his gods in dress into the world of plastic pointlessness. His own queries say, you must leave this maze of your false, overwrought, self-wasting ways to enter the world I have made you see, and for our broken, candid Lord to be Veronica, still wiping suffering faces, the Jesus who breaks bread in arid places. Peace work. That we must love one another or die, Auden cautioned us 8 decades ago. A strategy the human race might try. Try to deliberate with more than a sigh of impatience or an I told you so. If we must love one another and die, we should engage those who'd rather stand by, should proclaim the other is not always foe, a policy the human race might try, instead of leading with no or with why. See the person beneath the so-and-so if we must love one another or die. Reach out. Don't label, blacklist, classify. Let your kindness abound and overflow. A discipline the human race might try. Why give our very best instincts the lie? Why file hope for our brothers in an escrow? That we must love one another or die is a practice the human race must try. Thank you.